friends. Okay, let's see what chapter we're on now. Okay, we're on chapter 5, the fairy. Now, when we're through with this, I have a question for you, like a math question, and I'm going to ask you to send me a math equation about the question. So you need a pencil and a piece of paper. If you want to get your parents or your adult to go get you a pencil and a piece of paper while we're reading this chapter, then you'll have it when we're through, okay? The fairy. So Junie B has lost her tooth, and she stood looking in the mirror until her mom got home. Remember that from chapter 4? Okay. That night we had festivities. Festivities is when my grandpa and grandma come over and all of us eat cake. Grandma Helen Miller made the cake herself. She put a big smiley face on the top. Only that is not all, because the smiley face had a tooth missing, just like me. That's like the smiley face we put on our calendar this morning because Levi lost a tooth, remember? I laughed and laughed at that silly thing. Then I reached in my pocket and I got my tooth and I passed it all around the table. Oh, that's a beaut, Junie B, said Grandma Miller. I know it, Grandma. I know it is a beaut, I said real proud. I can't wait to take it to school for show and tell. The children are going to love this thing. Daddy looked strange at me. Oh, gee, I don't know, honey, he said. I'm not really sure you should take your tooth to school. Mother shook her head. No, Junie B, that's definitely not a good idea, she said. And besides, you won't even have your tooth on Monday, remember? You have to leave it for the tooth fairy tonight. Just then, my skin got chill bumps again, and the flutterflies came back in my stomach. 'Cause I know stuff about the fairy, that's why. My voice felt kind of shaky. Yeah, only what if I don't want to leave my tooth for the fairy, Mother, I said. What if I just want to take it to show and tell and that's all? Mother shook her head again. No, Junie B. No show and tell, she said. Taking a tooth to show and tell is just, well, it's just disgusting, said Daddy. Yes, said Mother, disgusting. I whined at those two. No, it isn't, I said. Lots of kids bring teeth to school, 'cause one time Roger brought a shark's tooth and he even let me and Herb put it right in our mouths, and then we looked like sharks too. I thought some more. Plus another time Shirley brought her grandmother's dentures, and lots of us put those in our mouths too. Grandma Miller did a little gag, only I don't actually know why. Now, if somebody ever brings something to school, should you put it in your mouth? No, Junie B didn't know that, did she? My grandpa patted her hand. Just be glad she doesn't want to take the spit cup, he whispered. Just then, my whole face lit up, 'cause I have ears like a hawk, of course. The spit cup! I will take the spit cup, I hollered. I jumped down from my chair and zoomed to the bathroom. Then I got the spit cup out of the trash and dusted it off real good. Good news, people, I shouted real loud. There's still some blood around the edges. I quick ran back to show them. Grandma Miller closed her eyes at that sight. Then Mother put her head on the table and hid her face in her arms. The festivities were over, I believe. So if you ever have to get something out of the bathroom for show and tell, out of the bathroom garbage, it's probably not a good idea to take it to show and tell. After Grandma and Grandpa Miller left, Mother took me into the bathroom and we brushed my teeth real careful. Then I took my loose tooth out of my pocket and I brushed that guy too. I held it up to the light. Look, I said, look how shiny I made it. I really wish I could take this tooth to school, Mother. I really, really wish that with all my might. Mother gave me a hug. I know you do, Junie B, she said, but it's still going to be fun to put it under your pillow tonight, isn't it? She smiled. I remember when I was a little girl, I couldn't wait to wake up in the morning and find out how much money the tooth fairy had left me. My skin got prickly at that name again. Also, sweaty came on my head. I thought and thought about what to do. Then finally I stood on my tiptoes and I whispered in Mother's ear. Yeah, only I know stuff about the fairy, Mother, I said. I know the truth. Mother looked shocked at me. The truth, she said. You know the Truth? Yes, I whispered again. I know the truth, Mother, because last year Polly Allen Puffer told me the whole entire story. I took another big breath. Then I cupped my hands around her ear and I talked even quieter. The tooth fairy isn't real, I said. Mother's eyes got big and wide at me. No, she said back. Yes, I whispered back. Polly Allen learned it from his big brother. The tooth fairy isn't a fairy at all. She's actually a teensy little tooth witch. Mother's mouth came all the way open. A tooth witch? Shh, I said. We have to talk soft, Mother. If the tooth witch hears anyone telling her secret, she flies into their room at night and she pinches their cheeks. Do y'all think that's true? No. Polly Allen Puffer's brother tells all kinds of things that makes Junie B worry, and they're not even true, are they? We know the tooth fairy's real, and that she's not really a witch. Mother covered her face with her hands. She was in shock, I believe. Polly Allen's brother even saw the tooth witch, I said, because one night he put a tooth under his pillow, and then he stayed awake all night, and he saw the tooth witch fly into his room on a teensy little toothbrush. Oh my, said Mother. I know it is oh my, I said, and that is not even the worst part. Here's Junie B telling her mom what Polly Allen Puffer's brother said. And that is not even the worst part, because the witch walked right under his pillow and she carried out his tooth, and then she chomped a big bite out of it, just like it was a little tooth apple. Mother made a noise behind her hands. I patted her very nice. I know how you feel, I said. This is very hard to hear. Finally, Mother took her hands away. But it just doesn't make sense, Junie B, she said. I mean, why would a mean little witch leave money under your pillow? A witch would never do something nice like that, would she? I rolled my eyes way up to the ceiling, because sometimes I have to explain everything. Of course she would, Mother. Don't you get it? The witch leaves money so that children think she's really a fairy. Because if children don't think there's a fairy, they won't leave their teeth, right? And if they don't leave their teeth, the witch won't get any tooth apples. Mother closed her eyes very tight. Then all of a sudden she opened up the bathroom door and ran right out of the room. She was taking it harder than I thought. It's the end of that chapter. Well, we know that the tooth fairy is not really a tooth witch. And Junie B will find out the truth by the end of the book, but what does the tooth fairy do with the teeth? That is a good question, isn't it? Once she gets it. Okay, here is my math question. So, Junie B's mom and dad want her to put her tooth under the pillow for the tooth fairy, and the next day she will have some money. And whenever you lose a tooth, that's what you guys do too, isn't it? You've been putting a tooth that you lost under your pillow and for the tooth fairy, and when you wake up the next day, is the tooth still there? No, the tooth is gone. So here's my math story. We're going to pretend like we had a tooth. So you lost a tooth. That's easy for Levi to pretend right now, isn't it? And a lot of you, Levi doesn't have to pretend. He really lost a tooth yesterday. And all of you have lost teeth before too. I think just about everybody has lost a tooth. So let's pretend like you lost one tooth. How many teeth did you lose? One. Let's draw that tooth. And you put it under your pillow, and the next day when you looked under your pillow, the tooth was gone. So you had one tooth, but then it was gone the next day. How many teeth are left under your pillow? That's right, none. Zero. Zero means there are none. If you put one tooth under your pillow, and then the tooth fairy takes it and it's gone, and the next morning you look under your pillow and it's empty, you had one was taken away, and now there are none. Would this be an addition story or a subtraction story? Remember, in an addition story, you add things together, and in a subtraction story, you take things away. That's right, this is a subtraction story. You had a tooth, the tooth was taken away, and how many teeth are left? If you drew this picture, I want you to make a subtraction sentence showing that you had one tooth, and then one tooth got taken away, and tell me how many that equals, how many are left. And you can just get your parents or your adult to post the picture of what you draw and your sentence in the comments of this video. That way that it won't get mixed in with everything else. You could just post your picture in the comments. I will make my subtraction sentence under my picture, and I'll post it in the comments of this video too. I hope that you have a great Good Friday tomorrow. We won't do our calendar time tomorrow. And I hope that you have a wonderful Easter. It's probably going to be a little bit different because we have to stay home this year, but you can still have a great Easter. I think the boys and I are going to dye Easter eggs. I found an old Easter egg dyeing kit where we can make them different colors. I found it downstairs in our storage room, so I'm going to try it and see if it still works, if it's still good. We're going to try to dye some Easter eggs, and if we do, I'll put some pictures on here for you to see. So happy Good Friday for tomorrow, and happy Easter for Sunday, and I hope you have a good weekend. And I'm still looking forward to seeing your stories that you've been putting on our page, your math problems, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of subtraction sentence you come up with. Bye-bye. I love you.